And, one thing that I think this country needs a little bit more of is, frankly, a choosing sides on this question of financial regulation in Wall Street. Once you get people to choose sides rhetorically, it's easier to move them over legislatively, too.
Is it also possible that the Republicans are going to have a real schism on their hands here? I mean, this was a striking down, in part, of McCain-Feingold. John McCain put out a very lukewarm statement in response to the ruling saying, I'm disappointed. But it does actually raise this issue of, as McConnell and Boehner and all these guys praise this as if it's some good ruling, I think as the implications of it are starting to dawn on all sorts of people left, right, and center, there's John McCain right in the middle of his party, I think, wondering which way to go on this. Is it possible they're going to have a split?
Maybe a bit. Olympia Snowe is furious about this ruling, too, from what I saw. What I think this could do, though, is, there's the avenue Barney Frank laid out, but there's another way of attacking this ruling, which is that what the Supreme Court is basically saying is you cannot limit the speech of corporations. They're people, too, it turns out. But what you can do is go at it a different way. You can amplify the speech of other segments of society. So one idea that has a lot of currency in sort of campaign finance circles is to increase the amount of money that, say, a small donation is worth. So I'm an individual, I give $200. Something that gets matched to $1,000, making it easier for a congressman or a senator or a president to finance his campaign using individuals. So one thing, if you can't make the corporations be quiet, you can make the people louder. And this may, by sort of clearing out some of this old avenue of doing campaign finance reform, refocus attention on it and create a sort of a better political environment to move forward in that approach.
And if you liked the billion-dollar presidential race last time around, you'll love the $20 billion presidential race we'll have even under a best-case scenario in those terms. Let me ask you about what Barney Frank said on this show last night. He suggested that the House Financial Services Committee could look for a legislative fix through corporate law on this. Is it possible that there is one? He seemed pretty confident.
I'm not a constitutional lawyer. My sense is that there are two issues here. One is that you can't undo what the Supreme Court did at its most basic level, right? They're interpreting the Constitution. That is their job. As for what he's saying, which is you could do something where you tie the corporate charter, which is the rules Congress passes, to certain responsibilities for corporations, that's possible. Although when you're doing a very fine-tuned intervention like that, my sense is generally that corporations tend to be pretty good at getting around it. Even the McCain-Feingold, if people think there hasn't been corporate money in politics, I don't know which politics they've been watching. This whole thing where they could do issue ads saying, tell Congressman X not to kill puppies any longer. They couldn't say don't vote for Congressman X, but their money was there and everybody knew what they were doing. So I do think that there's actually an argument to be made that going in sort of an amplifying the voices of the people direction ends up being more effective than just sort of erecting barriers for corporations to hire lawyers to skirt.
They certainly do have the money to hire good lawyers.
They do.
Ezra Klein of the Washington Post, thanks very much for your time tonight, Ezra. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.